Stanley Station. Please exit right. Please stand clear. Doors are closing. Train is about to move.
It was supposed to be a fresh start. After escaping the horrors of war in Ukraine, 23-year-old Iryna Zarutska boarded a train in Charlotte, North Carolina, ready to go home after work. She found a seat, pulled out her phone, and started scrolling. But within minutes, her dream of safety in America ended in a brutal and senseless attack caught on surveillance cameras for the world to see. Iryna wasn't just another passenger. She was a Ukrainian refugee, someone who had fled her homeland in 2022, seeking peace and stability. Friends described her as creative, artistic, and compassionate, with dreams of becoming a veterinary assistant. She worked at a local pizzeria to support herself, and on August 22, 2025, she was simply trying to get home after a long day. At 9:46 p.m., Iryna stepped onto the train. Wearing her black uniform and cap, she quietly sat down near the back. She looked down at her phone, likely texting or scrolling like any other young adult her age. But just 4 minutes later, another passenger made his move. Behind her sat 34-year-old Decarlos Brown Jr., a homeless ex-convict with a violent history. Surveillance footage shows him suddenly pulling out a folding knife and, without a word, lunging forward. He stabbed Iryna multiple times, fatally striking her in the neck. The entire train erupted in panic. Witnesses could be seen recoiling in horror as blood spread across the seat. So who was this man? Decarlos Brown Jr. had been arrested 14 times since 2011. His record included robbery with a dangerous weapon, felony larceny, and repeated threats. Earlier in the year, he'd even called 911 claiming that man-made material inside his body was controlling him, a clear sign of mental instability. Yet despite his violent past and obvious struggles with mental health, he was still walking free. After the stabbing, Brown calmly walked through the train, shedding his red hoodie, and exited at the next stop. But police were close behind. Within 6 minutes, officers arrived, recovered the knife, and arrested him. He was treated for a minor hand wound, then charged with first-degree murder. Iryna never stood a chance. She had fled one war zone only to lose her life in what should have been a place of safety. The Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department released the footage, sparking outrage and grief across the community. The city's mayor called it a senseless and tragic loss. In response, the Charlotte Transit System tripled its safety budget, hired a new chief of security, and pledged to increase police patrols on trains. But for many, the changes came too late. Iryna's story struck a chord far beyond Charlotte. A GoFundMe campaign launched by her family quickly raised tens of thousands of dollars to cover funeral costs and memorials. Friends remembered her as someone who always smiled, someone who believed that moving to America would give her a second chance at life. Instead, she became the victim of a broken system, a system that allowed a violent repeat offender to roam free until it was too late. Iryna's final moments were stolen in a way that feels both random and preventable. She had survived war, displacement, and uncertainty, only to be murdered on a quiet North Carolina train ride. Her death leaves behind a haunting question. How many more lives must be lost before society truly addresses the intersection of crime, mental health, and public safety? Because in the end, Iryna Zarutska deserved peace. She deserved the future she dreamed of. And now, all that remains is a community's grief and the memory of a young woman whose search for safety ended in tragedy.